Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're diving into the most important scale on guitar, and that is the major scale. This scale forms the foundation of songwriting, chord progressions, and music theory. And if you master it, you can unlock the foundations of melody, harmony, and improvisation. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use the major scale to play all over the neck, why it's the most important scale for any musician, how you can write chord progressions and melodies using the major scale, and how other scales and modes are built off the major scale. So grab your guitar, hit that like button, and let's get into it. So what exactly is the major scale? Well, it's a scale that is built off a pattern of whole and half steps. The easiest key to start with is C major. So let's start on C on the A string, third fret of the A string. So we have C, and then it's a whole step up to D. It's another whole step up to E. It's a half step up to F. It's a whole step up to G. It's another whole step up to A. Another whole step up to B. And a half step up to C again. So that's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So you have two halves and the rest are whole steps. So why is this scale so important? Well, the major scale forms the foundation of basically all Western music. It helps form chords, melodies, and modes, and every other scale, like the minor, the pentatonic, and the modes, comes from it. So in order to play the major scale all over the neck, you'll need to learn the 5 positions of caged. So starting in our open C position, you have the major scale in the open C position. Then you have the C major scale in the second position, which is the A position. And then we have the third position, the G shape. And then you have the fourth position, the E shape. And then the fifth position, the D shape. So by learning the major scale in these 5 different positions and really internalizing those shapes, connecting them together, you can then solo in any key using the 5 shapes of the cage system in order to improvise and write all over the neck. So the steps I'd follow to learn the cage system is first by learning how to play the C chord in those 5 positions. You have the open position in C shape, you have the second position A shape, you then have the G position, the E position, and the D position. And you'll notice that all of these shapes connect to each other. The root note connects to the second position, and the A shape connects to the G shape, and then the G shape connects to the E shape, and then the E connects to the D shape. So you learn those chord shapes, and then what you want to do is learn the root, the thirds, and the fifths in each position as well. So you have the root, you have the third, you have the fifth, the root again, and then the third. In the C position. In the A position, you have the root, you have the fifth, you have the root again, the third, and then the fifth. In the G shape, we have the root, the third, the fifth, the root, the third, and the root again. In the E shape, you have the root, the fifth, the root, the third, the fifth, and the root again. In the D shape, you have the root, the fifth, the root again, the third, the root, the fifth, and then the root. And then you can go back down to the fifth and the third again if you want to go down to the lower strings as well. So once you learn the root, the third, and the fifth in each position, then you can build the scale off that. So if you practice and learn these positions and shapes, you'll be able to play the major scale all over the fretboard, making it easier to solo, improvise, and write in the major scale. Okay, so here's where things get cool. The major scale is the DNA of music. So we have our C major scale, which we've just learned. Now, in order to find the relative natural minor, it's the sixth note of the major scale. So the sixth note of the C major scale is, if we count up from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is an A. So that means A minor is the natural minor of C major. And the cool thing about it is if we start on A here, it uses the exact same notes of the C major scale. But it has a minor sound to it. So we have C major, which sounds happy, A natural minor. Has a minor sound to it. So that's how you get your natural minor using the major scale. You may have heard the term modes before. Now, there are 7 modes. These are built using the 7 notes of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then back to the root, okay? Now, how you make these modes is you just start on a different note of the major scale. You have Ionian, which is the major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You have the second mode, which is Dorian, which starts on the second note of the major scale. So you have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay. You then have Phrygian, which starts on the third note, the E of the C major scale, which is E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay. You then have Lydian, which is the fourth mode of the major scale, which starts off in this case in F, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. You then have mixed Lydian, which is the fifth position, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Back to G. You then have Aeolian, which is the natural minor, which is what we covered before, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then back to the root of A. You then have the seventh mode, which is Locrian, starting in the seventh position, in this case B, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, back to B. So Ionian is your standard major scale position. Dorian has a jazzy, minor, bluesy feel. Phrygian is a dark, Spanish sounding mode. Lydian is kind of dreamy and floaty. Mixed Lydian has a bluesy, dominant sound. Aeolian is your natural minor, has quite a melancholy sound to it. And Locrian, which is quite uncommonly used, is quite dissonant sounding. So how do we apply this? Well, let's say you're playing in the key of C major, but you're playing the natural minor chord in that key. Well, then you'd play your Aeolian scale, because the notes are the same notes in the key of C major, but you're playing the Aeolian minor mode over the A minor chord. So it has a much more natural sound. Then you have the pentatonic scale. So the pentatonic scale is basically the same as the major scale, but you just remove 2 of the notes, the 4th degree and the 7th degree. So in this case, in the C major scale, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You remove the F and the B. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the F, you remove that. Then you have the 7, which is the B. So C major pentatonic is just C, D, E, G, A. So why would you choose to use the pentatonic scale over the major scale? I mean, it's got less notes, right? But the same notes, essentially, you're just taking 2 away. The 4th and the 7th note of the major scale creates a bit of tension. So by removing those 2 notes, the scale sounds a lot more open and smooth. The major pentatonic is the foundation of a lot of blues, pop, and rock guitar solos. Now, the natural minor pentatonic is, you probably guessed, based off the natural minor scale, which is in the key of A minor, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then back to A. So in the minor pentatonic, you're still going to remove the 4th and 7th note of the major scale, the relative major scale. So in this case, you're still removing the B and the F, okay? So in this case, the A minor pentatonic is going to be A, C, D, E, G, which has more of a bluesy, sad sound to it. Versus C major, which is quite bright and uplifting. So you have C major pentatonic, C, D, E, G, A, and then you have A minor pentatonic, which is A, C, D, E, G. Same notes, different sound. So if you're playing over a C major chord, use the C major pentatonic for a bright, uplifting feel. And if you're playing over the minor chord, use the A minor pentatonic for more of a bluesy, emotional feel. So now you know how to play the major scale, let's turn it into real music. Now, chords are built used by stacking notes of the scale on top of each other. In the C major chord, you're stacking the root note with the third and the fifth. So the chords in the key of C major, you have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then B diminished. One of the most common progressions used is the 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. So you use the first note of the major scale, which is the C, so 1, then use the fifth note, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a G. So we have C, we have G, then you have the sixth, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is A. So you have C, G, A minor, and then you have the fourth note, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is F. So we have C major, G major, A minor, F major. See how we built that using the first note, the fifth note, the sixth note, and the fourth note of the major scale. And you can use this in any key. The 1, 5, 6, 4 progression is used in countless songs. Another popular one, commonly used in jazz, is the 2, 5, 1 progression. So we have the second note in C, which is a D, D minor. Then you have the 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G. So you have D minor, you then have G, and then you have the 1, which is, of course, the C. So you have D minor, then G, then C. D minor, G major, C major. So try creating your own progressions using the chords of the C major scale. So now you know how to play the major scale in the 5 positions across the fretboard. You know why it's the most important scale in music, how minor scales, modes, and the pentatonic scale comes from the major scale, and how to make chord progressions, which ultimately leads to songs by using it as well. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.